I've been designing with timber for many years now, way before the the whole industry was focusing on carbon. And at that point, we were designing timber structures and extensions to buildings. Firstly, because it's beautiful, you don't need any extra finishes or to cover it up with anything. Secondly, because it's lightweight from a structural point of view, you can drastically reduce the foundations. You can add more to existing structures without having to strengthen it as much, or by using the foundations that are already in the ground. And it's super quick to erect. It's a modern method of construction. Everything's done in the factory. It comes barcoded, ready to go with instructions. And you don't need many operatives on site to erect it as well. And so when there's a huge labour shortage and issues like that, which we have not just in the UK but all over Europe now, it's a much better form of construction to get built quickly. And all of those benefits were the reason we used timber before everyone was concentrating in on carbon. But also, you just know inherently that it's the right thing to do. Use a material that can be grown back, one that sucks in carbon as it's being made rather than emitting it. And we all want to be working towards a more sustainable future. So it seems to me a no-brainer for all of those reasons. Right from the very start, you have to have those discussions amongst the design team, because you can make key simple decisions at very early stages that make the whole thing go seamlessly. But if you haven't got that knowledge or haven't had those discussions, then you can easily end up at a design at later stages that doesn't quite work, and then everything unravels. You end up spending more money, and it's a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, those things, vibration, durability, fire, and acoustics, we need to think about a lot earlier than with other materials. It's coming back again because now the ESG funding is really driving things, and we have a lot of projects now where timber is definitely one of two options or three options, or the only option. And that is being driven by ESG funding, by sustainability goals, by the government requirements, by planners as well. Not always enforced, but it's definitely a starting point, and I've seen a big change in the last 2 years in that. There was a hiatus for a while. We've also now got a couple of really exemplar projects that you need things built to be able to believe that it's possible. So Walter Sutton's black and white building, for example, that's really sort of given a boost to people to say, oh yeah, we can do this, which is great. From my experience, working with timber is sometimes I can see why people are sometimes nervous. It's new, it's a new supply chain. It's they're not sure how things are. It's a modern method of construction. Not sure how that all works. Especially main contractors, they're working right now on very tight margins and under very tight contracts, and they're responsible for a lot. And so to be forced to use something they're not comfortable with is a big ask. What I would say is the projects where I've worked on with timber, the contractors in the end have really enjoyed it. It's quick, it's clean, it's easier to build when they realize they're not drilling into a concrete slab all day, but they're drilling into something nice and soft, or sometimes nice and soft depending on the species, but softer. It's a lot less, it's more appealing. And then in terms of designers and risk and liability, that can be scary. But if you engage in the right way, if you put your steps in place from the beginning of the design process, if you talk to the right people, the specialists that I mentioned earlier, you bring together all the advice and you follow it, then it's very doable. It's all of the information is out there. You just have to be open to using it, and try and shift mindsets from business as usual to what is possible.